Hello and welcome to the Graham Sibbald Podcast. My name is Jorja and I am your host. On today's episode, I'm joined by David Officer, who is a project manager and director at Graham Sibbald. I asked David what his outlook is on project management and what he thinks makes a great project manager. I also asked David about some of the exciting projects he's had the pleasure of working on, and we discussed the impact of COVID-19 on the construction sector and just what 2021 has in store for it all. So my name is Jorja, this is the Graham Sibbald Podcast. Enjoy this week's episode. Welcome to the Graham Sibbald Podcast. We are here today with David Officer, who is a project manager and director at Graham Sibbald, based within the firm's Edinburgh office. Good morning, David. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. So maybe a place to start is if you could tell us a little bit about your role within Graham Sibbald since you joined in October 2020.
Hi, Georgia. Yeah, thanks for having me on the Graham Sibbald podcast. As you know, I joined Graham Sibbald in October last year, and although based out of the Edinburgh office, I have a remit across the whole of Scotland and further afield if the opportunity presents itself. Prior to joining Graham Sibbald, it was made clear to me that there was a desire within the business to add project management services to the existing offering. Initially, I've been working alongside the building surveying team to support them on their existing and new projects. However, I've also been working alongside other departments as and when the opportunity arises. I'm positive that we will be able to secure project management commissions with existing and new clients, and I'm hopeful to grow an enthusiastic and dynamic project management team. However, at present, I'm the project management team, and having spent some time getting to know my colleagues in the building surveying team, I'm more confident that as and when the need arises, the additional support is required if I have sufficiently experienced and competent individuals to help out. I spent a fair bit of time since joining, reconnecting to some of my previous clients, fellow consultants and friends in the property and construction industry in an effort to make them aware that Graham Sibbald have expanded their services to include project management. Hopefully the groundwork will start to pay dividends in the not too distant future. But only time will tell. I spent 14 years working with an established PM department previously, and the partners and I hoping that my experience working on frameworks for the likes of the City of Edinburgh Council and on high profile projects like Marshall Square in Aberdeen will help go some way to securing some exciting new opportunities and commissions over the months and years to come.
So you mentioned a little bit there, but what exactly does project management consist of, and what value does a good project manager bring?
Oh, tough one. Project management is, as it sounds, the management of a project from start to finish. Depending how educated your client is in the construction field will depend on the extent of hand-holding, so to speak, will be required to guide them through the project. Project management extends far beyond management of a building contract, however, and the experience and commitment of your project manager is fundamental to delivering the project on time, at the right cost, and to the desired quality. A project manager should be able to lead project teams, clients, consultants, and contractors alike through the life of the construction project, from brief development, design development, procurement and appointment of the building contractor, and then through the construction phase to commissioning and handover. A good project manager will take ownership of the project and take responsibility for the preparation and management of some of the key PM control documents, such as project budget, programme, and risk register and issue logs. The latter two will require regular reviews with the project team throughout the life of the project to ensure that the risks and their issues are being removed, mitigated, or managed effectively. Each and every project presents its own particular challenges and constraints, and it's important that the project manager takes a flexible approach that focuses on understanding the client's priorities and aspirations. Projects can sometimes be complex and involve multiple stakeholders, and two fundamental aspects, I believe, of project management are good communication and the stakeholder management, both of which will go a long way to providing clients with the confidence that their project has been well managed and that it will be delivered on time, within the budget, and to their quality expectations.
So you were previously involved in the Marshall Square development project in Aberdeen. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, Marshall Square is probably my biggest achievement to date. Yes, it was with one of my previous employers, but it, all the same, was an exciting and very rewarding project. A brief summary: it's a significant mixed-use development, and it was designed to transform the old St Nicholas House site, which was the Aberdeen City Council's former headquarters building, into an imaginative mix of offices, hotel, restaurants, coffee shops, open space, and public art as well. Ultimately, it's now delivered a vibrant new mixed-use quarter for Aberdeen, providing 2 office buildings, which offering nearly 175,000 square feet of flexible Grade A office space with secure underground car parking. There's 7 restaurants and cafe bars, and there's a 126 bedroom Residence Inn by Marriott hotel. In addition, there's been substantial upgrades to the externals, so there's a high quality areas for public realm and civic space. How did I get involved? Well, Muse were selected as preferred bidder in May 2013 to develop the site, and ultimately what they agreed was that they and Aviva would buy the site, then lease the site back to the Aberdeen Council for a period of 35 years. Thereafter, the council would take back ownership of the site. Muse have worked in partnership with Aberdeen Council since the beginning of the development, and they've now secured a number of tenants for the site, including Aberdeen Journals, who have the Press and Journal, NHS, KPMG, RBS, Chevron, Ernst & Young. They've all taken office space, and then you've got the likes of Costa, Prezzo, All Bar One, Tony Macaroni, and a small independent ice cream, Mackey's, in the retail units. My involvement started not long after Muse were awarded the preferred bidder status on the project back in October 2013, and I continued all the way through to completion, working hand in hand with Muse's development director and project manager to lead the design team through the pre-planning stage, through the submission of our detailed planning application in April, I think it was April 2014. There was obviously a fair bit of interest in the planning application, and due to the scale and level of public interest, the timescales to obtain planning took longer than first envisaged. But we did get there, and we got full planning consent in December 2014. During this period, Muse, myself, my colleagues, and the cost consultants were working hand in hand with Morgan Sindall Construction, one of Muse's sister businesses, in order to try and obtain and get to a point we've got agreed contract value and programme for delivering the project. We got there in December 2014, at similar timescale to getting planning, but it took until April 2015 before we got a spade in the ground and works on site. It was at that point my role changed slightly. I was project manager pre-contract. I then moved into a contract administration role post-contract, which involved everything from reviewing contract proposals to issuing instructions to responding to claims and to issuing certificates for payment. The contract period was for 120 weeks, so just over 2 years, with an expected completion in the summer of 2017. There were some delays to that, but we did manage to get the hotel and some of the retail units handed over to the hotel operator and to some of the incoming tenants in October of 2017, with the full development being completed in November 2017. I could go on about some of the key issues and challenges, but I think we're probably restricted in time, so let you carry on.
No, it sounds like quite the project. And dare I mention it, but due to COVID-19, we can see that the construction sector hasn't been too badly affected. Do you expect things to get busier as we move into 2021?
Well, as you say, 2020 proved that even the best laid plans need to be flexible in order to survive. And construction was one of the sectors hardest hit by the coronavirus pandemic. But like so many sectors, it was forced to react, adapt, and innovate. And my biggest hope for 2021 is that we build on the spirit of collaboration, which was evident across industry in 2020, working to solve the challenges and support Scotland's economic recovery at this crucial time. Much, however, of course, will depend on the speed and delivery and efficacy of the vaccine. But as the year progresses, we can hopefully begin to put COVID-19 behind us and look to the future, placing a renewed focus on creating job opportunities and doing our part in terms of climate targets. I'm hopeful we'll see construction output increasing and reaching, if not surpassing, pre-pandemic levels. As to timescales, couldn't say that, but this confidence will only be stimulated by private and public sector being brave enough to commit to investment in the sector. At the moment, borrowing costs are low, and the UK property sector therefore represents good value. It's been hard hit during the pandemic, but I'm confident it will turn. There'll be a drive by central and devolved governments to stimulate the economy post-pandemic, with a focus on continued public spending through infrastructure projects. New housing will continue to go from strength to strength, and as demand continues to outstrip supply, and with an increasing number of people looking to possibly move with the change in their work patterns and more working from home. What we can expect to continue to see grow is the requirement for out-of-town warehouse industrial units, which appear to have grown exponentially since the pandemic started. And online shopping has become the norm as retail outlets have been forced to close by the government or because their businesses are no longer viable. We've seen that recently with Debenhams, for example, as well. There will be a number of construction sectors which will take longer to recover, thinking the likes of hospitality, leisure and retail. We also have Brexit, Georgia,
I know.
to think about as well.
The other word not to mention.
Yeah, no doubt that'll come into the equation at some point over the next year, primarily around construction industry workforce and the import and export of goods and materials. For example, UK's existing skill shortage is no secret, and the EU talent currently take up almost 8%, I think, of the construction industry workforce.
Wow.
There is a real concern the skills gap may increase if EU workers aren't permitted to remain or enter into the UK. Similar issues potentially on the import and export of goods and materials. Changing tariffs for imports in particular is likely to lead to inflation of prices from the EU. Serious concern given that almost a quarter of the construction products used in the UK are imported, with almost 2/3 coming from EU countries.
I know it's definitely a time of uncertainty with COVID-19 and Brexit, as you said. Probably just to close up the podcast, if you could tell us a little bit any projects that you're currently working on, anything interesting. I mean, I'm sure it's all interesting, but
yeah, well, no,
anything specifically.
Absolutely. And I said earlier, my focus today has been reconnecting with some of the previous clients and consultants and friends in the industry and reviewing opportunities as and when they come to light. However, Graham and Sibbald have an agreement in place with an excellent Scottish-based clients for the provision of property and construction professional services, including project management up and down the country. This has seen me get involved, working closely with some of the other departments, building surveying particularly, and a variety of new building and refurbishment projects. One that I'm working on with the architecture and planning teams, supported by some external consultants, where required. We're at early stages of the brief development is for a new manufacturing facility project down in Derbyshire. The finished project will see the design and construction of 2 manufacturing and storage units extending, I'd say, to approximately 120,000 square feet in total.
Wow.
It's an exciting opportunity, and
Yeah.
one I'm looking forward to as we will bring 2 of our clients' businesses closer together on one increased site as well.
Amazing. Sounds like there's lots going on, which is what we like to hear.
Yeah,
Thank you
good.
so much, David, for your time today.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, David, for giving us an insight into project management. If you have any questions or would like to find out more, please go to www.g-s.co.uk. Thank you so much for joining us today, and do stay safe.